Hey guys, it's me, your girl Anita, and I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I plan my trips. Now, a lot of you, if you've been following my channel for a minute, then you know that I do like to travel, and you know that myself and my husband and my daughter and I just got back last Friday from California. So I get a lot of questions, not only from my subscribers on YouTube, but my friends outside of YouTube. They're always like, oh Anita, you're always going somewhere, you're always traveling, you're always doing this and you're always doing that. So I thought I would do a video and let you guys know how I go about planning my trips, and then maybe some of my planning tips will help you when you're trying to plan a trip for yourself or your family, and especially with having kids. Not that my kids are little anymore, although we did travel a lot when they were little. But planning a trip with kids can be difficult and it can be expensive, so you do have to plan ahead. So I figured that I would give you guys some tips on how I go about planning my trips for myself and my family. So let me stop talking, let's get into this video and let me share my tips with you. Okay guys, so let's just jump right into this. I have 7 tips that I'm going to share with you guys that I use when I'm planning my trips. So please bear with me if I'm looking down at my phone. I have jotted down some notes so that I didn't leave anything out. So let me stop talking and let's get into these tips. So tip number 1, what type of trip is it? Is it a family trip? Is it a vacation? Is it a girl/guys trip, or is it a couples trip? You need to decide what type of trip it is you're going to go on, because that way you can find out if you're going to be turning up or if it needs to be family friendly. Tip number 2, decide where you want to go. Where is it that you want to go? Do you want to travel somewhere within the United States or within the country that you live in? Or do you want to travel internationally, meaning outside of the country that you live in? I mean, I know most of y'all know that, but I'm just throwing that in there anyway. So that's an important factor in determining where you want to go, because once you decide where you want to go, that's half the battle. Number 3, then you have to decide when you want to go. Do you want to go a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, or 2 years from now? How far out you plan your trip means you can have a better trip or a more expensive trip or a not so expensive trip. It just all depends on when you want to go. So you have to take that into account. Usually when I plan our vacations, especially our family trips, I usually plan them a year in advance. So for instance, we just got back from California last week. We were there a month, but I started planning that vacation last July. So now we just got back from that vacation and I'm already planning our vacation for July of 2018. So I like to plan our trips a year in advance because that works better for my budget. I can have an idea of how much I'm going to spend. I can start saving those funds for that trip. And then when the trip comes around next July, we'll be good to go. Tip number 4, what's your budget? How much are you trying to spend on this trip? Now, if you're traveling by yourself, it's not too expensive, but when you are traveling with families, it can become costly because, traveling, airfare, hotel, all of that can become expensive. So you have to determine what your budget is, and that's why when we go on family trips, or usually any type of trips, I usually like to plan them a year out in advance, because then that way I'll have an idea of what it's going to cost and I can have my funds in order for when we go. So for instance, if I'm going to take a cruise, if we're going to go on a cruise, then it's nice to plan that out a year ahead because they let you pay a deposit for each person going, but then you have that whole year to make the payments on that trip. So then that way, by the time that you go, your cruise is paid for, and when it's time to go, you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't have the money for this, I can't do this, because your trip is already taken care of. Number 5, you have to think about how you're going to get there. Are you going to drive? Are you going to take a plane? Are you going to take a train? Or like I mentioned, are you going to take a cruise? Now, what I like to do, we generally fly wherever we go, and the airline that I like to use is Southwest. That's just my favorite airline. I just always feel really comfortable flying with them. I've flown other airlines that I don't care too much for, but I love Southwest. And the good thing about Southwest is they have have their flights listed 6 months in advance, and they send you like alerts on like discount flights and stuff. So whenever I get those alerts about the flights that they're sending out, I always look through that list, and I look through to see if there's anywhere that I haven't been that I want to go, and this is within the US or whatever. And if I can find a cheap ticket, a lot of times I'll call my husband up. I'll be like, Southwest has tickets to to New Orleans or Vegas or wherever for, you know, $128. You know, do you want to go? And then we'll just buy the ticket, and we'll buy it, you know, far in advance, and then we'll just plan our trip around those cheap airline tickets. So that's what we do. And we also have signed up for their reward points, so that works too. We fly with them so much, like for instance, when we go to Jamaica next month, my husband and I, our flights there are free because we had enough points to get free tickets. So definitely take advantage of those rewards that the companies offer. People who think that they can't travel, everyone can travel. It's just all about planning and budgeting, and just if you plan far in advance, you can have everything paid off in cash, or you don't have to use credit cards or anything. So when you go, you don't have to be stressed out about, you know, bills or nothing. So you can just go, enjoy your vacation, and have a good time. Okay, number 6. Where are you gonna stay when you get there? Now me, I'm fortunate enough that I have one of my good friends works for Marriott. So she allows me to use her Marriott Friends and Family discount. So whenever we go anywhere, I don't care if it's local, if it's up to New York, wherever we go, I usually try to book a Marriott hotel, and I usually will book it in advance because the Friends and Family rate is a really good rate. So I save a lot of money by booking through Marriott. However, when we travel internationally, like if we go, like when we go to Jamaica, or when we went to Mexico this past October, or wherever we go, when we go to Dominican, wherever we go, I usually either use, I book through bookit.com or I book through Apple Vacations. I've used them for many years, and I like them both. I've never had any issues with booking trips through them. So I generally like to book through them because, again, you can book your trips in advance. You can pay a deposit, and then you can make monthly payments, or you can pay on it however you want. You can pay it all up front. You can pay a deposit, pay it right away or whatever, but then by the time you go, your trip is paid for and you don't have to worry about it. And also another site that's good for booking hotels where you can get a good rate is you can use booking.com, hotels.com, expedia.com, and tripadvisor.com. I'm just gonna add to this because I'm very particular about when I sleep somewhere that's away from my home. So any hotels or anything that I pretty much do, I'm like a true advocate for tripadvisor.com. That is like the best site ever, and I say that because even when I book through Marriott, I still go, if I find a hotel on there with a Friends and Family rate, I still go on TripAdvisor and I research the hotel. I read the good comments as well as the bad, even if it's not bad comments. But what I do, and what I suggest you guys do, don't just look at the pictures that the management posts. Look at the pictures that people who have stayed there have posted, because they will post some pictures that will have you saying, I'm not staying there. I've seen where people have posted pictures with bed bugs in the beds and all that type of stuff. And if I see a bed bug and a bed on a picture, I'm sorry, I'm not staying there. But I'm just saying, I mean, I just think they give good reviews. They're usually pretty accurate, and I've had no issue when I've stayed at any hotel, whether it be, well, it's usually Marriott, but any hotel that I've stayed at, like I said, even Marriott, I go on there and I read the reviews. And I just suggest you go on there and read the reviews, the good, the bad, even if they only have a few bad ones, because sometimes people just be like, oh my God, I got there and they didn't have cream for my coffee, like that type of stuff, like that's petty. But I mean like big things, like I just read those reviews, they're pretty good. And like I said, look at the pictures that the people who have stayed there posted, not just the management photos. Because those management photos will have you sucked in, and then you get there and you be like, this ain't what I saw on your site when I booked this trip. Tip number 7. What are you going to do when you get there? So when you get there, this is a problem that my husband and I used to have in the past, especially when our kids were little. We would book these trips and we would go places, right? And then we get there, and once we got to the place, we'd be like, okay, well, what are we going to do when we're here? So we would never know what to do when we get there, and we would be wasting so much time trying to figure out what to do. So now your girl is like all about planning and organization. So whenever we go anywhere, I have a whole itinerary plan. I mean, from the day we get there to the day we leave, unless it's just my husband and I going somewhere, because usually if it's just him and I going somewhere, we're just trying to go lay on the beach, lay by the pool, drink some drinks, and, you know, hang out at night, if that's what we want to do. When we go with our daughter, we usually have to be more active, because y'all know how kids are. I mean, she's 16, but even now she's like, okay, what are we doing today? Like, they're not about just laying around when they go somewhere. They want to go out and be about. So what I do, I also use TripAdvisor for this, because TripAdvisor has great ideas of what to do in the different cities and stuff. Like when we were in San Diego last week, I had planned everything from TripAdvisor. My mother, my daughter and I went on a trip last year to Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. Had a whole itinerary planned based off the stuff I saw on TripAdvisor. My husband and I went to Chicago last July. Had a whole itinerary planned. We went to New Orleans, had a whole itinerary planned. TripAdvisor will tell you like what you should go see, what you should do, where you should eat. It has like the best reviews on where to go, what to do, so that when you arrive, you guys know what you're going to do. You're not sitting around fumbling like, okay, what are we going to do? Wasting like a day trying to figure out what to do. Because, you know, when you're on vacation, your time is valuable. So you got to get there and get done what you're trying to do. So that's going to do it for my traveling tips on how to plan a trip. I hope I didn't talk too fast, because I do have a habit of talking fast, but I hope my trips have helped you. If you have any questions, you can comment down below and ask me. You can ask me. I will answer them. I'll tell you what I know or what I do if you have any questions. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, your family, anyone you think may find this video helpful. And I also want to say, if you are new to my channel, welcome, y'all. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all know how I feel about you. I appreciate you. I love you. And as always, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for rolling with your girl. I love y'all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.